We really see two different types of violence in this experience. One is verbal and one is physical. One is overt and one is covert. And Will is the one that's being condemned the most because his violence is overt, it's direct, and the joke is almost not observed or noticed at all. It's so allowed. And to me, that's fascinating. And it's important to look at the situation both in what's evident and what's more subtle. The joke that Chris makes is a high school type joke. And if we think about it, many of us may have wanted to slap the joker, the bully in school on their face. Alopecia is not something that we have control over, that anyone has control over. And so to be made fun of that thing that you have no control over is specifically sensitive. And here is where I have a little bit of compassion for Will, and I understand why a part of him really needed to step forward and act as the protector. Many schools in America don't allow bullying, and yet the Oscars do, and guise it under humor. Why are you so sensitive? Why are you not laughing at my joke? But if the same joke would be made in school, it'd be considered bullying, and there would be consequences for that. Depth psychology teaches us that the places where we get truly activated and triggered are the places that really tell us about what our complexes are. And so it's clear to me that Will has a complex around Jada's hair loss. He can't help himself. He gets up and he throws a punch in front of everybody on live television. And he has a very strong reaction that he almost can't help himself. He seems what I call hijacked, which is what a complex does. It kind of takes you over and you do something that it's not necessarily part of your everyday character. It's something out of character for you. We have a lot to learn from Will's reaction because unfortunately, in his attempt to defend his wife, he sabotaged one of the most important moments of his career. It backfired. Nobody's talking about his how wonderful of a husband he is and how he protected his wife. Everyone's talking about how unnecessary and how violent his reaction was. Was it an effective way to stand up for her, if that was truly his intention, or did it backfire? And what would have been a better way to do it? What's sad to me is that Will has to pay a very high price for his act, for this impulse that takes over. Because in 20 minutes, he makes the biggest mistake of his career, which is to slap somebody on live television, and also receives the greatest achievement of his career, which is his first Oscar. And it seems like his destiny was to experience a lot of intensity in a short amount of time. Will slapping Chris is clearly protest behavior. He's raging against the helplessness he feels towards his wife's hair loss, towards aging, towards his own body, as we know that he just finished recording the documentary about his journey with the weight loss. And so he represents all of us in that protest behavior. It's hard to accept the fact that we are powerless over the way that our body records age, the way we grow old. And it's sensitive. It hurts to be reminded of the places that we are helpless about, the places that maybe are not considered attractive or beautiful, or it hurts to be made fun of in that way. So I have some compassion for Will here, and I can understand his reaction. I can understand the instinct to fight against that, and we see the outcome of his action. This is why in mindfulness we say take a deep breath before you act. Really watch your reaction and then choose your response. It's clear that at this point, Will no longer has that impulse control where he can take a deep breath and laugh and say, okay, this is a joke, I don't have to take this personally. He takes it personally, and he takes it upon himself to protest, to stand up to the verbal bully and the painful joke that he makes about his wife. I'm sure Will's acceptance speech of his Oscar sounded very different than it would have if he hadn't slapped Chris just a few moments before that. You can see that there is guilt and there's remorse mixed in his speech. He is using the word protector and defender a very high number of times, which to me reflects the fact that he's trying to coat what he did and make it in a more acceptable way, code it in a different light. And this is what we do when we're in a complex. We don't want to see the magnitude of control that it has over us. We're trying to make it more acceptable by enveloping it in a different perspective. And he even says, I'm acting like the crazy father, Richard, the role that he played. And to me, this is fascinating because I'm curious, is he acting as Jada's father? Is parenting happening in their relationship? Because then we're getting into other kinds of trouble. But it's really important to notice how much is blended in his apology / acceptance speech. My hope is that in the future, the Oscars will learn to elevate their humor and take it out of the very childlike, let's poke fun at each other's appearance state and take it into a classier jokes. I really hope this is a learning opportunity for those who approve the humor aspect of the monologues. I also think that it's a wonderful opportunity for Will to, in the future, really talk about anger, talk about rage, talk about impulse control, talk about reactions, and take this into a mental health direction that can benefit a lot of the people that are following him, are admiring him, and are learning from him. I'm hoping that what happened with Will and Jada and Chris is going to serve us all by inviting us to pay attention to how we react when our emotions get really intense. This could be us. This could be us making an uninspired joke, or this could be us reacting violently to somebody else's joke. And so how would you like to react if somebody picks on your sister or on your mother or on your wife or on your husband? How would you like to be sensitive towards other people's physical challenges? There's a lot to learn here.